We'll put it on my tab at Harry's.
Yes!
I gotta get you racing again so I can make some money off your ass. There's a show down in the desert called Race Wars, and that's where you'll do it. I'll tell you what, when you're not working at Harry's, you're working here. If you can't find the right tool in this garage, Mr. Arizona, you don't belong near a car.
What is up, guys? As you can see, the Del Sol is turbskied, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it, guys. So just follow along, and you're in for a good one. And if you like the video, guys, hit that subscribe button, mash that like button, and I appreciate it. And we are gonna get started on this baby, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to get this thing done. All right, guys, so we got our turbo here, and first things first thing we're going to do is we're going to set this turbo and get it prepped. We're going to go ahead and put its fittings on for the oil return and the oil feed. Okay, so you got your little, of course you got your little gasket there. I don't know how well those are going to do. They look kind of cheap, but we're going to send it. We're going to send it, boys. I'm going to put a little thread locker on them bolts. Lined up in there, just like that. Thread locker. Other bolt. Okay, then we'll tighten that down. All right. Now we'll move to our oil return. Same thing, guys. Just take your little gasket. Okay. Take your bolt, just like that. Ain't nothing to it. That way, we don't have to do that when it's in the car. We don't have to crawl underneath and try to do this. Just make it easy. All right, now once you have those all tight, like you want them, now we'll bolt up the manifold. And you want to do that before you put it in the car. It's kind of a hassle when you put it in the car. But let me get the bolts and we'll start on it. All right, guys, so you have your bolts. When I bought this kit, the bolts were too short, so I had to go out and buy me some other bolts. It's gonna be a 14 millimeter, something like that. It's like about a 14. It's a 14, guys. Snug them down like that. All right. Turn to the other side. All right, guys. So once you have those all tightened down like you want, of course, don't forget to put your gasket in there. Some people, go without the gaskets, but hey, if you got a good one, use it. I had a stainless steel one. Came with my my manifold. Check that other side one more time. Just like that, boys. Nothing to it. Okay. All right. Now we'll put it in the car. All right. So I got my gasket already on there. Got my gasket there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on. I believe it's gonna be a 12 millimeter. This is a D16 Honda Civic motor. So what we'll do is just come right here, stick it on like so. Okay, put that first one on there just to kind of hang on to it. So yeah, then you just put your little nuts on. You're just gonna reuse your existing manifold nuts, guys. That's all you're gonna do. All right, now I got all my bolts on there, nice and tight. So yeah, I definitely need to clock it. The oil return is upside down, so definitely need to clock it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take the bumper off and see where I can line the intercooler up. Of course, it's going to go down there. I don't know if I'm going to reuse this bumper. I probably won't. I'll probably end up buying another one just because I don't want to mess it up. It's an OEM bumper, and man, I just really don't want to mess it up. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get this bumper off, and we'll mount the intercooler. Okay guys, so I got my bumper off, of course. So got my intercooler right here. It's pretty decent, looks pretty good. Of course, I pieced this kit together. I did not buy a complete turbo set. I pieced it together. I wanted to piece it together because I wanted to make sure every part and piece was nice and perfect. Of course, a lot of the turbo kits, when they send you, man, they send you a bigger turbo, and so of course I wanted a smaller turbo, kind of similar to like a T25, T28, and so it's pretty similar. It's not, you know, equivalent to like a GT35 or anything like that. So of course, here's my intercooler piping, and I'm gonna go ahead and start setting it up and see how it runs to my intercooler, and I'm gonna base off where my pipes go. I'm gonna base that off of where I'm gonna stick my intercooler, and we're gonna mount the intercooler. It's gonna mount right to that metal piece there, and so metal trim there. So we're gonna cut a few holes in this intercooler. Most of your intercoolers, I've seen some that don't have them, but it's got these little deals so you can screw in some bolts. So we'll get that mounted up and make it look nice and tuck it back as far as I can. Hopefully I can get it mounted up so I don't have to cut my bumper. And if I do have to cut my bumper, then you know, I'll just get another bumper for it. But anyway, stay tuned. All right guys, so when you get your radiator kit, it's gonna come with a bag of these clamps. And these are the pretty good clamps. Those are pretty good there. That's what you want. And then you're gonna have these couplers, a few of these couplers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install the top of this intake pipe. All right, guys. So I got that top pipe pretty secured. I'm gonna go ahead and my other pipe there. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this on. And once we get that on, we'll have a better idea of where I want to stick my intercooler. Pretty good there. Not bad, guys. Not bad. Coming together, guys. Coming together. We're getting it. Looking pretty good. I'm impressed. So yeah, we'll go ahead and tighten that down. And she's looking flush too. You know, a lot of these kits that I see don't look that flush. You know, and this intercooler setup was specifically made for this car. You know, so when you do your shopping around, guys, you know, you can, and man, that's looking good. She's looking level. On some other kits, man, everything's all cockeyed looking, but she's going together pretty good. But anyway, next thing, we're gonna mount the intercooler up, and we want it to be, you know, want it to be level there. I'm gonna try to tuck it back good enough to where I can still keep my bumper. I don't have to tear it up. So anyway, all right, guys. So what I'm gonna do with this intercooler is I want to mount it up in the center, and so I've already got my mark. But what I did is I took a little Sharpie, stuck it up in there like that, made sure it was center in line here. Of course, you can do it how you want to do it, you know, but this looks like it's going to work best for me. And so got it marked center, got it up in there center, got it marked how I want it, and put me a little circle in there. And now I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one just to kind of start it and to kind of go from there. So once I get that one drilled, then I'll go ahead and mount it. And of course, I'm going to drill 2 more holes. I'm just kind of getting my one hole started first, and then I'll get that and go off the other one. Perfect. All right, so got my intercooler up in there. I went ahead and stuck my bolt in, and what I'm going to do next is just line up the other 2 holes. I might just do one more. It's holding pretty good. Hell, even with that one bolt, it's holding pretty good. But I don't know. We might just rock with that for a while and see how that does. Okay, guys. So went ahead and put the that intercooler piping on there. Of course, I got my intercooler mounted up how I want it. And so what I'm going to do with this intercooler piping, I have my turbo here. And what I need to do is I need to clock my turbo first. This is the oil return line, and it goes into the oil pan. Goes into the oil pan at the top of the oil pan, so it drains down into the oil pan. So I need to rotate this. This needs to be on the bottom, and my oil, my return line coming in to my turbo needs to be on top. So I need to go ahead and clock my turbo. So for that, to move this part, this center part, I just need to loosen these bolts up right here on this side of the turbo. So I need to loosen these bolts up. I believe there's 6 of them. Then once I rotate this, I'm going to go ahead and loosen these bolts up to rotate this. But yeah, let's do it. All right, guys. So I got my pipe how I want it. Got my turbo clocked how I want it. Got the oil feed right here on top. Got the oil drain on bottom, running to the oil pan. So I got my pipe, and so kind of show you all the turbo here. So I got, you know, that pipe running there, got my turbo going down. So I have a piece of piping that, you know, my kit come with. So here it is here. It came like this, came like that. Of course, I cut it off here, and I used that, nothing special. Made a pretty good cut. I kind of filed it down a little bit to kind of get it just right. But I got that, and so I have a bead roll, handheld bead roller that I made, and what it is, it's just like an electrical crimping tool, and I cut the ends of it off, and yeah, it works pretty good. These are some of my practice pieces. Of course, that's not bad. That was my first one I did, but then I kind of messed with the tool a little bit and got a little bit better bead on it. See if I can zoom in. Yeah, so I got a pretty good bead on that one. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use that. I think that's fine. So yeah, let me get this 90, let me get it rolled, and yeah, we'll stick it on the car and see how it does. All right, guys, so all the intercooler piping is tucked up in there, running to the turbo. So we're good there. So yeah, happy with that. All the intercooler piping, the intercooler's on. Everything's looking good. I need to install my my blow-off valve, my wastegate, and yeah, I need to drain the oil, take the oil pan off, drill my return line hole, and yeah, we won't be too far off. But anyway, yeah, moving right along. All right, guys, so went ahead and drained the oil, and I do have the oil pan off. Went ahead and took it off. It ain't but like maybe, I don't know, 15, 16 little screws going around. But what I'm about to do is I'm going to go ahead and drill my hole for my return line. And I've already kind of mounted it up and looked at it and everything. And I think right here is going to be a good spot. It's going to be above the oil line, so I won't have to worry about it backing up into my turbo. So I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole right there. What I'm going to use is going to be this right here. Pretty sure it's 1 inch. I've already done some measuring, and so I think this inch is going to take care of it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get that hole drilled, and we'll get the bung in there. Yeah, moving right along. So I went ahead and I got my oil pan. Got my oil pan tapped. I got some nice JB welder around there. Probably put too much, but oh well. Went ahead and got my oil pan in there. Got my JB weld right there. Got my bung. So yeah, we're getting closer. So I'm gonna go ahead and install my wastegate. I'm gonna go ahead and put my blow-off valve on, and yeah, that's like the HKS style blow-off valve deal there. So I'll have to put a little retaining clip in there, and I'll show you guys how to do that. But yeah, we're getting closer, guys. Of course, I went ahead and forgot about that. Forgot to tell you guys, but went ahead and installed my oil feed line. Took out the oil pressure sensor in the back of the block, unscrewed it, screwed that line into a little brass fitting that I had. But yeah, so like I said, moving right along. But anyway, so we'll go ahead and get started on that wastegate, and then we'll knock that the blow-off valve off. And yeah, all right, guys. So just wanted to show you where I have that oil feed line coming from. And what you're looking at there is, you see where it's screwed into it there, and then of course you got that brass yellow looking fitting, and then just above that to the top there is the oil sensor. Now I have it screwed in there to the brass fitting, and I have the brass fitting screwed in there to where the oil sensor goes. And then of course I have the other side blocked off there. You can see it on that right side. You can see that nut there. And then of course your feed line is just running from that brass piece, and it runs up to the turbo, up and around. I don't know if you can kind of see where I have that fed, but it just kind of goes up and around the motor. And of course, and then it just runs up and around the motor, guys. Of course, you see it coming out there, and it just runs and screws right in there. All right, guys, so yeah, got the wastegate on, looking good. You can get up in there. Went ahead and took my pipe off just so I could get this blow-off valve in there good. Don't have to jack with it too much, but anyway, that's the blow-off valve. And on this one, it's the HKS style, so it don't just bolt on. You know, you got that little snap ring on the inside in there, and yeah, definitely gonna need some snap ring pliers, and just kind of fits in there. And give it a couple taps. Sometimes it don't go down all the way, and what you need to do is, what I do is, of course, that snap ring, it needs to go all the way around and seat down in there properly. So sometimes it don't seat properly, so what you do is you just come back behind it, and you know, give it a couple taps all the way around to make sure that clip seats down in there properly, and she's in there properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and throw this back on the car, and yeah, we'll be done with that. And then I'll go ahead and run my vacuum lines. And so we'll be one step closer. I got a storm trying to roll in on me, boys. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna pack my shit up and put the bumper back in here. It's gonna start pouring down rain on me, so I'm gonna have to come to a halt. But we will knock it out tomorrow, and we're almost close to starting it, guys. So yeah, hang in there, and we'll get it done. All right, guys. So moving right along, I need to install the vacuum hoses for the blow-off valve and the wastegate. A few extra things I need to do. I do not have a dump tube for the wastegate, so I'm gonna need to get one made. My buddy, he's gonna weld one up for me. But and like I said, I'm not gonna install injectors. I'm not doing injectors right now, and I'm not doing a fuel pump right now. I will, but my main thing is just to get this car started and working. And I want to show you guys that it can be done without a fuel pump and without injectors. But when you get a tune, you know, you're gonna want injectors and a fuel pump. So yeah, I just got those few things, and we'll go ahead and get started on it, and we'll knock it out. And yeah, let's get it, dude. So what I'm going to do now, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this turbo downpipe, exhaust downpipe on, and it just goes right on the turbo right there. But, just kind of hangs down. Of course, it's the exhaust, so just runs underneath the car. And I probably have to get an aftermarket pipe or cut that pipe or do something with it and get it to fit. But that's a whole nother deal within itself. But anyway, let's go ahead and throw this on and see what it looks like. All right, guys. So I'm gonna have to put a hold on that exhaust pipe. I'm gonna have to cut my old exhaust out and cut a little small section out just so I can get that pipe to hook up and bolt up. But went ahead and put my radiator fan on and put this little overflow tank back on. Of course, I filled it up with antifreeze, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the oil in the motor, guys, and then I'm gonna just show you a little quick tip on, you know, putting oil in your turbo just to kind of get it started. But anyway, so we'll do that, and I might even turn it on tonight, guys. So we'll see. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and unscrew those two little screws right there. I'm gonna pop this oil feed line out and squirt a little bit of that oil that I put in the motor. Go ahead and squirt a little bit in that turbo to kind of preset it and prep it so it ain't starting up dry or anything. But yeah. All right, guys, so I got my exhaust downpipe bolted up. Of course, it runs back and goes there. I had to cut my catalytic converter off. It wouldn't bolt up to it. Of course, it was too short, but just some things you got to do sometimes. But I had to cut that catalytic converter off, and that's all right because I'm gonna end up and run a 3-inch exhaust all the way back to match this downpipe. But yeah, stuff you got to do. Of course, there's my catalytic converter, and shoot, I can probably take that and sell it for, I don't know, 150, 200 bucks. Then I'll have the money for my 3-inch exhaust. Yep. So what I need to do now is I'm gonna go ahead and put my wastegate downpipe screamer pipe. I need to put it on. A few other things I need to button up. I'm gonna go ahead and put the let's see here, the spark plugs, and I got NGK, and mine are going to be the BKR 7E and those are good for Honda turbo applications. So yeah, got some old bougies, some bougie spark plugs. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna throw those on, and we'll go ahead and get that screamer pipe put on, and not too much longer, guys. I should be able to start this thing up today, but we'll see. Alright guys, so I go to put this wastegate dump tube on, and well, it's hitting the side of my exhaust down there, and luckily I got a few little spacers there, a few little adapter plates, and they were black, but I sprayed them with that metallic paint, and man, that looks good. That looks real good. But yeah, sprayed it with a little Rust-Oleum. I don't know if it's gonna hold up to the heat, probably not, but oh well, little light coat won't hurt anything. But yeah, those are going on. So yeah, whenever I get them buttoned up and put on there, get the dump tube put on, what else do I got? Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna reroute my wastegate line. I do have it going and teeing off there to the back there, but I had my buddy and he welded on a little nipple there coming off my pipe, so that's where I'm gonna attach my wastegate. But you can do it the way that I got it, but I just felt that was a better idea to have him weld that nipple on there. That way, where I have my wastegate run to now, I can tee off of that for my boost gauge, and I should be good. So we're gonna fix that up. Just a few more things to go, guys, and then I think we're gonna crank this bad boy up. All right, so I got everything looking tight. Got the wastegate dump tube, got it put on, looking good. But, just kind of want to go through and check all my hoses, make sure they're good. Just kind of a last rundown. Of course, when I fire it up, first thing I'm going to be looking at is underneath, make sure there's no leaks. And so, yeah, I already got me a little oil on the ground, but it's not from my motor. I accidentally spilt my little can there. So, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and fire it up, boys. See what she does. Let's do it. Guys, fired right up. Good, guys. My fuel pressure's a little low. Need to go ahead and install that fuel pressure regulator so I can boost my fuel pressure up a little bit. Alright guys, so I have the fuel pressure regulator right there, and what I need to do is I need to pop that off. It's two little screws that screw it in. One there, of course you got one there, and it just pops off. And I'm going to cut the top of it off, and I'm going to install a little cap that's going to regulate the pressure so I can get about 40 pressure. I'm rolling at about 30 pressure, 30 psi, 35 psi, and I'm really needing to be about 40. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off, and we'll install the fuel pressure regulator cap on top of it. And that is your fuel pressure regulator. Just as easy as that. Just four little screws, and bam. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw this bad boy back on. All right, so I have the fuel pressure regulator bolted back down. And it's just, you got one 10mm bolt there, another 10mm bolt there. All right, guys, so everything's looking good. She's sounding good. No leaks. I've already checked, no leaks. Seems like everything's buttoned up nicely, looking good. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and drop it down, and we'll give her a little test run, see what she does. And there she is, guys. She's a little dusty from being locked in her cage for a little while, but there she is, turbo and all. But yeah, look a lot better when I put that bumper on. Running good, boys. Sounds good. Sounds darn good. You know, Turbski got some nice Turbski sounds. No check engine lights. Of course, I got my boost gauge hanging down here. I got like a bevel deal that goes on the side here, holds the gauges in there. Pillar, gauge pillar. But I'll install that pretty soon. Got the top off, cruising for a bruising. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nothing to it, guys. With no upgraded injectors, no fuel pump. Running good. And that's really all there is to it, guys. So yeah, easy as pie. You like that video, guys? Hit that subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Share it with your friends. Share it with your uncle, your brothers. So yeah, it's not that hard, guys. If you just pay attention to what you're doing, everything will work out for you. It went together smoothly, no issues. Yeah, just wanted to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Nice car. What's the retail on one of those?
More than you can afford, pal. Ferrari.